What would you do if you found out your own government used you as a lab rat? Not in some dystopian movie, not in some conspiracy theory, in real life, on real people. People like you. That's exactly what happened, and they almost got away with it. Most people have heard of MKUltra. It's become almost a meme at this point. The CIA did mind control experiments. People laugh about it. But here's what they leave out. MKUltra wasn't one experiment. It was 149 sub-projects across 80 institutions, universities, hospitals, prisons. Some of the most respected names in American science were involved. And the subjects? They didn't volunteer. Many of them didn't even know. But MKUltra is only the beginning of this story. Because when I started digging, I found that the United States wasn't the only government running experiments on its own people. And some of what I found, I almost didn't want to make this video. So today we're going through 3 of the most disturbing experiments in human history. What happened, who was responsible, and why they were erased. And before we get into it, what I'm about to show you is documented. These aren't theories. These are declassified files. The mind breakers. It started with fear. In 1950, American soldiers captured during the Korean War appeared on camera, confessing to crimes they didn't commit. They looked blank, robotic. The CIA panicked. They believed the Soviets and Chinese had cracked the code to mind control. And if the enemy had it, America needed it too. So in April 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles approved a program so secret it didn't go through normal channels. No congressional oversight. No paper trail. At least, that was the plan. They called it MKUltra. The idea was simple on paper. Find a way to control the human mind. Break someone's personality down to nothing, then rebuild them. A perfect spy. A perfect assassin. Someone who would follow any order and remember nothing. The method? LSD. Massive doses of it. Given to people who had no idea what was happening. One of the most documented cases is Frank Olson, a military scientist who was secretly dosed with LSD by his own colleagues during a work retreat. Within days, Olson spiraled into paranoia and depression. 10 days later, he fell from a 13th floor hotel window in New York City. The CIA called it a suicide. His family didn't learn the truth for 22 years. And Frank Olson wasn't alone. They tested LSD on prisoners who were told they'd get reduced sentences. They tested it on psychiatric patients who couldn't consent. They even set up fake bars and brothels in San Francisco. Operation Midnight Climax, where they drugged unsuspecting men and watched through one-way mirrors. This wasn't fringe science. This was funded by the United States government, approved at the highest levels. Now here's the part that should make your blood cold. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all MKUltra files destroyed. Thousands of documents shredded, and they would have succeeded, except for one clerical error. A set of financial records had been misfiled in the wrong building. Those records, about 20,000 pages, are the only reason we know any of this today. 20,000 pages out of what was probably millions. Think about that. What we know is bad enough. What we don't know. And if MKUltra is the experiment America wants you to forget, what I'm about to tell you next is the experiment the world wants to forget. If you're learning something from this video, do me a favor, hit subscribe. I'm a small channel, and every subscriber genuinely helps me make more of these. Now, let's talk about Unit 731. During World War II in occupied Manchuria, the Japanese Imperial Army built a complex that looked like a lumber mill from the outside. On the inside, it was something else entirely. It was called Unit 731, and its mission was to develop biological weapons. The man in charge was Shia Ishii, a military doctor who believed that biological warfare was Japan's only advantage. His logic was terrifyingly practical. You can't develop biological weapons without testing them on human subjects. And he was given permission. The prisoners, mostly Chinese civilians, but also Koreans, Russians, and Allied Poes, were referred to internally as Maruta, logs. What happened inside that facility? I need to be careful, because some of it is genuinely difficult to hear. They performed surgeries to study disease effects. They exposed prisoners to plague, cholera, and anthrax in controlled lab environments. They tested the limits of the human body in pressure chambers, in freezing temperatures by withholding water. An estimated 3,000 to 12,000 died inside. The number killed by field-tested weapons in Chinese cities may be in the hundreds of thousands. But here's what makes this story even darker. After the war, Shia Ishii and his researchers were never prosecuted. Not a single one. You want to know why? Because the United States made a deal. In exchange for the research data obtained by torturing and killing, America granted full immunity to every member of Unit 731. The reasoning? The data was too valuable to let the Soviets get it. Ishii died a free man in 1959. Some of his researchers went on to lead Japan's pharmaceutical industry. In 1932, the United States Public Health Service began a study in Tuskegee, Alabama. They told 399 black men, most of them poor sharecroppers, that they were being treated for bad blood. They were given free meals, free medical exams, and free burial insurance. What they were not given was the truth. These men had syphilis, and the government knew. The entire purpose of this study was to observe what happens when syphilis goes completely untreated. The men were never told their diagnosis. They were never given treatment. Even after penicillin became the standard cure for syphilis in 1947, the study continued for 25 more years. Let me say that again. They had the cure. They watched these men suffer, go blind, go insane, die for 25 years after they had the cure. Because the study wasn't about helping them, it was about watching them die. The study didn't end because someone in the government grew a conscience. It ended because a whistleblower leaked it to the press in 1972. 40 years, 400 men. 28 had died directly of syphilis. 100 more from complications. 40 of their wives had been infected. 19 children were born with congenital syphilis. And you know what the lead researcher said when it was exposed? He said the men were volunteers, that they agreed to participate. Men who couldn't read the consent forms. Men who were told they had bad blood, not syphilis. That's not volunteering. That's being used. 3 experiments, 3 different countries, 3 different decades, but the same pattern every single time. Powerful people deciding that some lives are worth less than data. And I think that's the part that actually haunts me. It's not just that these things happened. It's that in every case, hundreds, sometimes thousands, of people knew. Scientists, doctors, nurses, bureaucrats. They signed the papers, they filed the reports, they watched, and they said nothing. The files were burned, the victims were silenced, and history moved on. But that's what this channel is for. We don't just tell history, we study the scars left behind. Because the moment we stop looking at the dark parts, that's when they happen again. If this video made you think or made you angry, subscribe. I've got a lot more of these stories to tell. I'll see you in the next one.